Hello, friends. It's Darren Cooper from DarrenCooperMusic.com, and you are listening to The Silent Creative, a podcast geared to help you turn down the noise so you can find your voice and create your art. Let's go. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Silent Creative Podcast. Unless this is your first time, then just welcome to the Silent Creative Podcast. And before we start today, I want to say, do this for me. I heard this the other day, and it was awesome for me. So if it's super weird, I apologize. But smile. Wherever you're at right now, just smile. I don't know what it is about it, but when somebody says smile, I just start doing it, and then I almost start laughing because I'm like, why am I smiling right now? I don't even know, but yet it totally changes the outcome. So if you're facing something crazy, facing something hard, maybe you don't feel like really even doing anything today, you're a little depressed, anxiety has gotten the best of you, fear's gotten the best of you, maybe let's just start with this. Just smile. Smile. Anyway, I know it's kind of weird, but hopefully that was awesome for you. Today we're going to talk about names, the importance of naming something. And I honestly think it's going to be a game changer for some of you. I really do, because what we're going to talk about and some of the stories that I'm going to tell, it was a game changer for me. And so I think if you put it into practice, if you try some of this stuff that we talk about, it's going to be a game changer for you. But before I start to unfold a little bit of that, I want to point you to, as always, DarrenCooperMusic.com. Eventually, if you listen to enough of these, you'll actually be able to say this with me. It'll be crazy how much you know about it. But DarrenCooperMusic.com, you can head on over there. There's a bunch of stuff on the site, but one thing I want to point out is the interactive single called Finding Oasis. It's all about helping you turn down the noise so you can find your voice and create your art, because that's what my music is about. I love to encourage you in that way. And so Finding Oasis is a 5-minute track that goes along with a PDF that's 5 steps. So the music changes every minute. So you spend about 5 minutes going through this process of getting your mind right, getting just starting the day on a good note. And so hopefully you go check that out, and hopefully it is encouragement to you. And I'd love to hear from you and what your thoughts are on that. So find me on social media. I'm out there under Darren Cooper Music. Just find me, hit me up, and I'd love to hear how this podcast or Finding Oasis is treating you. And so go check it out and let me know. So with that, let's dive in. Have you ever wondered, and maybe I'm the only one, but have you ever wondered that why the Bible story of creation, that Adam was given the task of naming all of the animals, and beyond that, why did the author choose to tell us that? It never seemed really important to me. It was just like, oh, that's kind of cool or kind of weird, or whatever. Like, you just envision him sitting there like naming an animal one after another. It's like, okay, cool. And if I'm honest with you, the story always makes me think of a joke, a comedian I heard once. I don't know who it was. I don't even know if it was a good comedian, but this caught me as hilarious. But he was talking about Adam and kind of did this story about Adam naming all of the animals. And at first he was really excited about it, right? Like, the animal came up and he's like, your name is hippopotamus, like really cool and like really drawn out. And your name is alligator, like awesome names. But then by the end, he was like just super tired of it. It was just like fly. This is like naming them by the attributes or whatever. And like, I don't know what it is. Probably it was his delivery that was really good, because I was dying when he was talking about that, like thinking of him actually naming it Fly. Just hilarious. Wish I had the comedian that I could point to, but I don't even remember who it was. Just remember that story. That's just a fun little. Anyway, well, let's move on. But the other day, I was thinking about the power of names, and I was actually thinking about when my daughter was born. When we found out we were pregnant, I was super determined not to let anybody know what her name was before she was born. I didn't want to tell anybody, not even like grandparents, not even close friends. Nobody knew the name, and it was really twofold. The first reason was because whenever like the kid isn't born yet, and you tell like people the name, they feel like they have the right to tell you what they think about the name. Like, oh, you're gonna name her that, cool, and you could just tell that they're like, that's the dumbest name I've ever heard. Or if like it's a super unique name, like they're gonna just tell you all the opinions on why you shouldn't. Or if you name it like, if you name him, well, not him, but if you name her Sarah or something kind of more common, they remember all of the Sarahs that were mean to them in school, and so they just begin to automatically attach your kid that's not even here yet to that person that they knew back in the day. Like, I just didn't want that to happen. So that was reason number one, which was it. Yeah. Anyway, so reason number two is because I wanted to announce her. I wanted to, when she came into the room, to be able to say, here she is, and put a name to her. Because when she's born, she's just kind of, right, she's just a human. She's just a baby. And it wasn't until I said, this is Story Cash Cooper, did she move from human or baby to who she was. And I think that's extremely powerful, and something that is easily overlooked in maybe our culture today, or just in general, is that importance of naming something. And that idea made me think about the fact that I've grown up a musician. I've grown up an artist. I've grown up a songwriter. As far as I can remember, that is what I've done. But it's not until recent years, and honestly, I still struggle with it some days, but it hasn't been until recent years that I've been able to call myself those things, to be able to say, I am an artist, I am a musician, I am a songwriter. But once I started to do that, something shifted in the atmosphere, right? I could feel it, I could see it. I could go as far as actually believing it. Something changed when I named it, because there is power in a name. And it also makes me think of like a 12-step program, like all the 12-step programs that are out there. What is the first thing you have to do? The first step in any 12-step program is you have to name it. I have a problem with X. I have a problem. And in naming it, it actually loses the power at that point, and you can begin to start the progress of recovery. And the first thing you have to do is you have to name it. That's so powerful, so powerful. And maybe for you, it could be subconsciously, it could be things that you're saying out loud. But maybe for you, for a long time, you've gone by names that aren't so good. Ugly, stupid, fat, worthless. Maybe it's broken, damaged, too far gone. These are the names that you've been telling yourself. And you need to know today that there is power in the name. So pay attention to what you are saying or what you are calling yourself. I think that's why in the Bible, if you've been around church very long or been around a church at all, you hear all of these stories and biblical accounts of names being changed. You were this and now you are this. Because there is power in the name. That can be a game changer for people when they see, when they call themselves something different. I used to be this, but now I am this. I am an artist. I am a creative. I am, and fill in the blank. And so I know that right now you might be driving in the car, you might be on the lawnmower, you might be washing dishes, you might be doing a myriad of different things that won't allow you to dive into this exercise that I want to encourage us to do. But as soon as you get to a place that you can, and if you are at your desk or somewhere where you can grab a piece of paper, I want you to do so. So all of us, and I really encourage you to do this, to grab a piece of paper and to write down the sentence, I am a, and fill it in with whatever that dream is that you have inside, whatever that desire is, that thing that you want to accomplish, write it down. So for me, I am an artist. I am a songwriter. So for you, it might be, I am a dancer. I am a singer. I am a chef. And what I want you to do is I want you to take that piece of paper and I want you to either fold it up and put it in your pocket, maybe hang it on your mirror so it's the first thing that you can see when you wake up in the morning. And over the next few days, few weeks, even few months, I want you to pull that out. I want you to see it and I want you to say it out loud. Say it out loud. Don't say it in your head. Don't say it. Say it out loud. Because there is something important. As soon as I saw my baby girl born and I said, her name is Story Cash Cooper, there's power in that. The atmosphere changed. She became that. And that happens when you're able to call yourself whatever it is that you struggle to call yourself. Don't let fear win. Don't let anxiety or fear hold you back anymore. Allow yourself to say, I am a, and fill it in. So write it, carry it around, and read it out loud every day. And I promise you that that will be a game changer for you, because it was a huge game changer for me when I named myself what I always wanted to be. So as the music plays here over the next few minutes, maybe that's something you can just think through. Maybe it's a hard step for you to take and you just need to begin to go, okay, let's think about this. Let's process this a little bit. And then in another day or so, you can pull out that piece of paper and write that down. But as the music plays, just reflect on the power of a name. And let's think about what you've been calling yourself and maybe what you should change that name to. So let's do that now as the music plays. I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, I hope that that is an encouragement to you today. I hope that you can move on from this podcast and begin to call yourself and name it what it needs to be, and that can launch you out into finding your voice and creating your art. So if you love the music part of this, you can get more of my music at darrencoopermusic.com. All kinds of goodies there, including that single, Finding Oasis, that interactive single that you can get there. So go check that out. I would love to get that into your hands and hear what you think about it. So until then, remember that you are an artist and your voice is needed in this world more than you know, and you are loved more than you could ever imagine. So go out there and create your art, and we'll see you next time.